Joining us is former Deputy White House Chief of Staff Karl Rove and former Biden-Harris surrogate Kevin Wallen. Welcome to you both, gentlemen. Karl, tell us what is happening in Virginia and New Jersey and why. It looks narrow, but a loss is a loss. Do you think there could be an upset in either state?
Well, I think we're likely to see in Virginia and New Jersey both closer elections than we might expect, but for different reasons. In Virginia, you're right, Jay Jones, the Democratic nominee for Attorney General, who in an exchange with a Republican colleague talked about assassinating the Speaker of the House, then a Republican, and then followed up by saying that if he only had 2 bullets and was in the room with Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler, and the Republican Speaker, he'd put both bullets in the brain of the Republican Speaker, and then talked about how he would love to see his wife as the children died. I mean, this is not a kind of person that we want in office. And my sense in Virginia, the Commonwealth has a sense of what it takes to be in office. They have high standards, and they split their tickets a little bit more than the rest of the country. I think we're likely to see a close governor's race for exactly the reason you said. The Democrat will not condemn it. And we're likely to see a Republican get reelected Attorney General. In New Jersey, the race is tight because the Democrats have got a terrible candidate. There is a 13-point advantage, registration advantage for Democrats, and she is up in the polls by basically 4. So there are a lot of people in New Jersey who look at her and say, not authentic, not really up to the job, don't know how she's going to perform. She's not very convincing in what she says and what she's focused on, spends more time trashing him than advocating herself. And it's going to be, he came close 4 years ago. There might be, another close election in New Jersey and maybe a toss-up.
All right, Kevin, Karl just referenced history. History favors the party out of power. Do you think history holds, or do you see any warning signs, even if it's a close win? Should those be interpreted as warning signs heading into the midterms?
Yeah, Trey, it's a good question. Listen, as you just said, a win is a win, and I'm hopeful that we will win both in Trenton and in Richmond. And we've seen some early indications that enthusiasm is off the charts when it comes to early votes in both the Commonwealth and the state of New Jersey. So those are some indications that are good for Democrats, to Karl's point, that have that registration advantage in New Jersey. But 15% of that electorate is independent. So it'll be a question as to whether they break for Jack Ciattarelli going for his 3rd attempt at the governor's office, or for Mikey Sherrill coming from Congress. But again, I'm hopeful that both indications are that both women have had a significant, lead, whether it be 5 to 10 points in both of those races. But it's anyone's guess in this closing week how both will finish.
All right, Karl, you know more about politics than I do, certainly. No endorsement, at least in my lifetime, has carried the weight of President Trump's. Thus far, he has not weighed in the Senate primary in Texas. Where do you think that primary stands in your home state? And do you foresee the president getting involved, or kind of just watching and letting it play out?
Well, first of all, full disclosure, I am a longtime friend of John Cornyn, the Republican incumbent. We've known each other since he was a district court judge 30-some-odd years ago in Bexar County in his early 30s. So I've known him a long, long time. I think the president's going to sit and watch. He understands that it would be problematic if he were to endorse against a sitting Republican senator, particularly one as respected as John Cornyn. I think he also, and the White House staff has been clear about this, they understand that this race in the general election, if Cornyn is the Republican nominee, is a gimme for the Republicans. And if his principal opponent, Attorney General Ken Paxton, were to be the nominee, given the scandals and indictments and guilty pleas and girlfriends and mistresses and jobs traded for mistresses for influence inside the Attorney General's office on issues important to, corrupt, indicted real estate guys, that's not going to be a pleasant opportunity for Republicans to keep that seat. And we may, if Paxton were the nominee, see the first Democratic victory since 1994 statewide in Texas.
Wow. Kevin, you and I are proud South Carolinians. I don't know about you. I don't think about New York all that much, although we have friends up there. Zoran Mamdani is likely to beat a former governor who couldn't keep his hands to himself around women, does this race really have any impact outside of New York? I mean, are folks going to finally figure out they can adjust to living without gunfire as background noise, shoplifting, marijuana smoke, and actually move to other cities?
Well, Trey, listen, speaking of South Carolina, I wish they would import one of our tools in our electoral tool chest and have a runoff election so that you have someone that has to get a majority vote, because I don't think Mondami is going to reach a majority. And to run the largest city in the country and the financial hub of the world, you should have to be over 50% based on what we've seen in those polling with, the Republican and Cuomo splitting the vote. I don't think it has necessarily legs outside of the city of New York when it comes to national politics, despite Republicans' attempts to make it so and to make those ramifications in Democrats' races up and down the ballot, Trey.
Karl Rove, Kevin Walling, thank you for loaning us your civility and your respective expertise in politics on a Sunday night. I'll see you both soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trey. Good to see you.